Hey everybody, welcome to
Hello.
Pop Chat, your BP1 and BP2. We are here
Yes.
with a follow-up to our Growler Jams video. We did one before, didn't we? Which was a...
Carrier takeoff.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're back with a carrier landing.
So Growler Jams, brilliant channel. If you haven't checked him out, got loads of exciting and interesting topics on there. I think what we noticed originally with the carrier takeoff was how much is involved. You know, all the people that the flight deck guys, how they get handed off from one to another, all the pre-checks and all that sort of thing going on. So the pilot mentioned his call sign is Pale. The term growler in the Navy relates to the EA-18G Growler aircraft that he flies, I believe. And if you want to show the guy some love, he has got his own Growler Jams collection on crowdmade.com, collections Growler Jams. I think he's got some t-shirts and merch on there. So if you fancy checking him out, go and have a look. But here we go, mate. What's he got here? Carrier landing clinic textbook trap.
Well, I mean, straight away, I mean, you just look at this. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? I mean,
there's your view. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, okay. Don't look, ladies and gentlemen. Don't.
Just sorting out my thingy. Yeah, I mean, it amazes me, you know, because it doesn't take too far to be up in the sky before what the big thing is that you land, you know, you took off from becomes a dot.
Yes.
And you know, straight away, what an amazing picture in the cockpit of obviously the carrier down there and him coming into approach. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this because we watch it, you see it on telly and stuff like that. And we watch the takeoff, and I just thought, yeah, it's going to be really cool to watch him land as well, because you think takeoff in that sort of period is hard. Landing's got to be pretty damn scary as well. So
yeah, because you're coming in at a fair few knots, aren't you? So it's like got to get it right the first time because a lot could go badly wrong. I'm still quite amused that is the mirror up there, isn't it? Wing mirror on the side. You'd probably be easier to find yourself. So there's your rear view mirror on the side there. Brilliant.
Brilliant. All right, let's get into it then.
Hey, welcome aboard. Do one last check to make sure that your harness is attached at 8 points and your ejection seat is armed. We're overhead, Mom. We're going to recover in about 4 minutes. Hang on.
Look how quick you got over
My
that.
call sign is Pale. I was a Growler pilot for a little over 10 years, and now I'm currently a T-45 flight instructor in the United States Navy in Kingsville, Texas.
Oh, that's cool.
This video starts with the Case 1 recovery aboard the ship. Case 1 recoveries are going to happen when Mom or the ship is reporting greater than 5 miles of visibility and over 3,000 feet of a ceiling on top of the ship. So in other words, when there's really nice weather like there is today.
Yeah, it's a cracker, isn't it?
We're checking in low holding, or technically port holding, above the ship, which is a left-hand pattern tangent to the BRC, or base recovery course, which is basically the ship's magnetic heading overhead the ship, with the ship at the 3 o'clock position and a diameter of about 5 nautical miles above the ship. Currently we're at 3,000 feet. There's another fighter that's cross-circled to us at 2,000 feet and someone else at 1,000 feet, and there's a Hawkeye above us, which you'll see soon enough, at 4,000.
That is so cool. Look at that.
We're in low holding, and once we're cross-circle, another fighter at 2,000 feet, and when that fighter decides to descend because his traffic in front of him has descended, we will sequence ourselves in to descend at beam and after the ship from 3,000 to 2,000, eventually to 1,000 feet on this particular turn that we're making now in order to set ourselves up for the overhead. So as we come around, we're about to beam the aft end of the ship. The fighter in front of us has decided to go for it and go for the overhead now, so we're descending down to 2,000 feet and eventually to 800 feet as we approach Mom or the ship. So we're in a slow descent, we're in a left-hand turn, we've got about 90 degrees of turn or so more to go as we approach the overhead, which is going to be...
What sort of speed is he doing there?
800 feet, we're going to fly overhead the ship with Mom just underneath our left wing, and then we're going to brake on our interval of traffic. However, in this particular case,
here we go.
Here in a moment, and there's Mom at our left, 11 o'clock or so, as we roll in this level and accelerate to 350 knots at 800 feet.
Oh, there it is.
The preceding traffic has had to go around due to there being a foul deck. Now, as you overfly the ship, you'll see that there's a fighter on the flight deck that's unable to clear the deck in time. The preceding traffic was told to go around, and they've extended upwind about a mile or so.
Oh, I see.
Upwind.
Yeah.
So instead of going well upwind and braking, I've elected to spin it or climb up to 1,200 feet. Nice tight pattern within 3 miles or so, and basically come right back around for the overhead. As the traffic ahead of me continues upwind, it eventually is going to turn back downwind. So the new plan now is to let the traffic in front of me land, and then I will brake to follow them, and that will be my new interval. Only the Hawkeye and the tankers are behind me. So for this pattern, we're just keeping it nice and tight. Nice big pull, 1,200 feet within 3 miles or so. We've got about another 90 degrees or a turn or so in order to make, let's see here, make that 180 degrees with the turn as we come around the corner here. We went up to 1,200 feet. Now we're going to descend right back down to 800 feet, add a little bit of power on the end. And then we're going to put Mom right at that same spot, right underneath her left wing. So looking at Mom, looking at my interval, kind of figuring out what the game plan is going to be now. Got about another 45 degrees.
Still a lot of visual in there, you know.
A lot of visual, yeah.
We'll pick up Mom here in just one potato.
There we go.
And there she is.
Just coming in.
It's a nice, easy, smooth rollout. We're just a single ship today, so it can be a little rough with it if we need to. Rolling wings level, putting Mom right underneath her left wing. We're 800 feet or so. And I'm looking for
how
my
quick
interval.
it comes
my
up.
interval is now just a little bit forward of the ship. You can't quite see it with the haze out there, but a little bit forward of the ship on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
So
There's
I'm
a
going
couple
really
on there,
fast, 350 knots or so.
I was going to say.
350.
In landing configuration, about 160 or so. So I'm going to go well upwind of the ship, about 1.5 miles to 2 miles or so. And then brake, that way I can follow that traffic in front of me and not have to wave off again for a fact.
I love the way he just goes whoosh.
Okay, so now we brake, throttle comes to idle. We're going to roll up about 70 degrees angle bank on the horizon, pull, drag that velocity back across the horizon in order to stay level as the throttle goes to idle, and slowly slow down from 350 knots to less than 250. And once we get there, which is coming up pretty soon, right now, boom, there it is, gear down, flaps full.
Gear down.
As we transition into the landing configuration. We're going to roll out parallel to the ship's BRC. We're just going to go in the opposite direction of it, about 1.5 miles or so, depending upon our gross weight. And you can see just to the left of the HUD,
So
there's that
cool.
red chevron right now, indicating that our gear is down and we are fast as we slow down to the landing configuration. That fast is eventually going to turn into an amber donut, a potato. Yep, there it is. Nope, not yet. There it is, a little fast. Now we're on speed, and on speed is how we land aircrafts in the Navy. As we approach the round down with the fantail of the ship, it's going to be a little power, a little pause, and a little turn to start that 27 to 30 degrees angle bank turn. From the beam to the trap point, eventually the timing should be about 45 seconds or so as we're coming around the corner. We're at the 135 now. As we approach the 90, we should be about 450 feet or so as we're coming around. And as we roll wings level on the back end of the ship,
So you can see the
so when we roll
ships.
wings level to when we trap should be 15 to 18 seconds in the groove, which is our normal groove length for a good okay pass.
Wow.
So as we're coming around here, we're at the 45 or so, should be about 370 feet or so as we're coming around. You see the wake of the ship, not too big today, meaning that the mom isn't making a lot of running wind. There's quite a bit of wind out there. Okay, here we're coming to the wings level transition, and we roll wings level potato.
It's still not very big, is it?
Seconds. Now my scan goes to meatball.
I've just realised that it's angled on the ship.
Angle attack, constantly making a right hand turns in as the LA is driven from my left to my right.
Oh my
line
god.
Up, attack, meatball, line up, real high, down, low, high, on glide path, and low power, very violent boom, trap, signaled by the director as the ball comes back. Saying feet off the brakes, so he's with hands up in the air. I mean, you can see him at our left 10. Cool, he tells us to fold our wings. Now he's going to tell us to start that right-hand turn.
Okay, I mean, not only was it beautiful to watch, but that coming in, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, considering I know quite a bit, I thought I did, but I didn't realise how much angle the runway is.
Offset,
on the ship, offset, But as he's coming in there, I mean, that jolt, I want to watch that again. We're just going to watch that again because as he's coming in, he's quick. He's still bloody quick as he's coming down. It's that trap that stops him. But that must be quite a pull on the old...
jar and jolt, because you've sort of gone from that to pretty much zero, haven't you?
Yeah.
In a split second.
Let's watch it again.
Potato, 15 to 18 seconds. Now my scan goes to meatball, lineup, angle of attack. Meatball, lineup, angle of attack. Constantly making right-hand turns in as the LA is drifting from my left to my right. Lineup, angle of attack, meatball, lineup, angle of attack. A little high, working it down, a little high on glide path, and mill power. Very
look at the straps on him. Wow.
Everything is literally comes back. Saying feet off the brakes, so he's with the hands up in the air. I mean, you can see him at left 10. Cool. He tells us to fold our wings. Now he's going to tell us to start that right-hand turn. He's going to say, quickly get out of the LA because there's a Hawkeye and a tanker behind you, and I want you out of there. He's going to say turn right or so as we turn towards L2. We're taxiing out of the LA or the landing area now towards the director. You see him at right in my HUD now saying come forward, come forward. He's moving his hands quickly saying get out of the LA quickly. Now he's going to tell us to turn to our left or so, as I think in this case they're going to park us in the 4-pack, which is on the bow of the ship. So he's telling us to turn left. He's pointing to another director. The new director is
how many planes there are on there?
To my left so telling me to come forward.
And loads of people wandering around, isn't it? You know, all doing something, refueling.
Slow. Now he's telling us to kick over that left pedal, nose wheel steering. Cool. I pointed at him to come forward. He's going to eventually hand us off to another director that you can see at our left hand, standing out in the open over there between
the yellow,
the parked aircraft. So he's handed us off, and now we're just taxiing to head towards him. Little left turn, cool, and we're taxiing, and you can see where this is going to go. There's a director all the way on the bow of the ship. On catapult 2, remember catapult 1 is going to be on the right side on the bow. Catapult 2 is the one that's on our left. The director's all the way over there at the end of catapult 2 on the business end of the ship. And he's saying, come towards me. So now we're looking at him. We're taxiing all the way over there, and we're going to have to make a left turn and another left turn. We're going to turn around and park in that direction. Now, as we approach the bow of the ship, there is no scupper on the bow of the ship. The scupper is like a little wall, about 3 inches tall, that's around the sides of the ship. That low speed, low angle will stop you from taxiing off the end of the ship.
All right. There's not much there.
There's no scupper on the end of the bow or where the waste cats come off the ship, or on the fantail, because that's where people are expected to fly off or taxi off the ship, which makes sense. In this particular case, you can see the scupper kind of like it.
Wow, look at that. It's like we're hanging over the ship.
You can see it there. It is, that little white wall there.
Yeah.
Now, in the Super Hornet, the nose gear is behind the pilot, so it's completely possible for your feet, your toes, to be over the water when your nose gear is on the flight deck, which is a little bit of a uncomfortable feeling.
I was going to say,
hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the ride along.
That's
if
cool.
You enjoyed the jam,
so
please
cool.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Buy me a beer if you like. The details are in the description.
What a cool,
so cool.
And again, you know, everything was sort of all very calm, collected, you know, and you're coming in at 350 knots on a little thing that you got to land on, and just a different level, isn't it? Really,
unbelievable. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant to watch because it's one of those things where, you know, I guess as a kid, you know, you sort of get really involved in this sort of stuff, and then as you get adult, you realise that, you know, you're just not capable. And but then you watch it in real life, and it's you know, it's pretty special to see and watch, and everything that's involved, and just seeing the takeoff and the landing on an aircraft carrier is pretty special. But to actually be talked through it by an actual pilot is pretty great as well. So big up to Growler Jams.
Full sign Pale. Enjoyed that. Very good. You know, as I say, you know it goes on, but to see it from that view as well, you know, right in the cockpit seat with him, and like I say, you know, the amount of sort of visuals constantly turning, seeing where everything is. You know, not just relying on instrumentation, but visually getting it all lined up and all spot on. And brilliant. What a job. What an amazing job that must be. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Learned something as well as we have. Again, I mean, that picture there, it doesn't look big enough for that plane, does it?
No, and the speed you're coming in, you think, how on earth would you stop? But there we go. We know how it's done. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow for another reaction. We're so diverse on this channel. We do sport, comedy, predominantly music, but all sorts on the channel. So do hit the subscribe button and come with us. Lots for you to watch and learn.
Indeed. We've learned so much. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him. Later. Ooh-wee.
Impressive, mate.
I've had enough trouble parking my butt.